barrel to Congress. Chris Murphy and Joe Courtney, no more Republican rubber stamp Congress. We want somebody who's going to hold this president accountable. No more one-party rule down there in Washington, D.C. That's why we're going to take this Congress, hold this president accountable, checks and balances. That's what it's all about. And I got to tell you, on Tuesday night, it was a pretty good surprise. And it's a surprise for change. People really want fighting change in this state, and that's what we voted for on Tuesday night. And I got to say that the first call, one of the first calls that Joe Lieberman got was from Karl Rove. The first call I got was from John Edwards. Let me say something serious about John Edwards. He's talking about a subject that not many people pay attention to in America right now. That's the subject of poverty. Now, I've been in this race for 7 or 8 months. I've been going flat out around the state, and I should have been talking more about poverty because it's a disgrace in this country, and we've got to do better. And John Edwards is somebody who's making that serious and making us pay attention and knows that our country is better than that. I look at a city like New Haven. I look at most of our big cities here in the state of Connecticut. You know, these were some of the richest cities on the face of this earth going back a few generations. Now we have some of the poorest cities here. And look at what's going on. A single mom with a kid. She has to work over 100 hours of the minimum wage just to be able to afford an apartment for 2 here in New Haven. You know, that's wrong. That's wrong. Work has got to pay. That's what we stand for as Democrats. Work has got to pay. I do some teaching down in the public schools in Bridgeport. And I care so much about these kids. These kids deserve a fighting chance at the starting line of life. And I look here in New Haven, I look at Bridgeport, I look at Hartford. About 1/3 of these kids now are growing up in poverty. 1/3 are growing up in poverty. We're not going to allow that to happen in America. John Edwards is not going to allow that to happen in America, and that's why we're in this race. And it's not inevitable that good-paying jobs are leaving our cities and good-paying jobs are leaving our country. We're making a lot of bad choices in Washington, D.C. Bad choices. First and foremost, what do we got to do? Rather than spending $250 million a day in Iraq, $250 million a day, now is the time for us to start investing in our own country again, investing in our city, investing in our kids, investing in our future. Instead of investing in our kids, we're leaving them a $9 trillion mortgage on their future. That's wrong, and that's going to change when the Democrats come back into office. What do we do when it comes to investment? Well, first and foremost, I'm a small business guy, and I can tell you as a small business person, we have a healthcare system in this country that is broke, and we're going to fix it. How do I know it's broke? We got 47 million people in this country with no health insurance, and many more are underinsured. I can tell you the skyrocketing cost of healthcare is hurting entrepreneurship, bankrupting small businesses, and bankrupting working families. And it's time for the Democrats to stand up and say, that's not going to stand. We're going to fix the healthcare system in this country. People sometimes ask, what do Democrats stand for? We believe that universal health care is a basic right for each and every American, and we're going to make it happen. You know, when it comes to investing in New Haven, what should we be doing? Let's talk. We have a port here. Connecticut should be the gateway to New England, and New Haven should be the gateway to Connecticut. We should have a port system here. We allow products to come in. We ship products from without. We're going to invest in a transportation system, public transportation, light rail, so we can start distributing products throughout, and good-paying jobs come back to the state of Connecticut. Good-paying jobs come back to New Haven. Affordable housing. I bet you got to work 100 hours. 100 hours at the minimum wage if 30% of your income goes to affording just a 2-bedroom apartment. We've got to have housing in a city like this where people can afford to live. You do that, that's when good-paying jobs start coming back. And first and foremost, we're going to invest in education again. We're going to invest in our kids. We're going to invest in our schools. The school I teach at, It's a school that has fabulous teachers, and then a bunch of security guards in the hallway. It's a school that tends to shut down at 2:30 in the afternoon, and more often than not, these kids are going home to an empty house. We're making bad choices in this country, and that's going to change. These kids are going home to an empty house. We're not giving them the best opportunities they deserve. These kids are going home to an empty house. You've seen some of the youth violence. You've seen some of the things going on around here in New Haven. We got to give the kids something to dream about. We got to give them opportunities. We got to give them hope. That starts in our schools. That starts with our parents. That starts with the investments we've got to make in this country again. I want to say one last thing. My old friend Vice President Cheney spoke out the other day. He said that Al-Qaeda was emboldened by the voters of Connecticut when they voted on Tuesday. George Bush is weakening our country. We're more dependent on foreign oil. More dependent on foreign capital. We got 132,000 troops bogged down in a civil war in Iraq. Our troops are less ready. We're less able to respond around the world. We're borrowing from procurement. It's bad. We're not taking care of Homeland Security. You heard what the 9/11 Commission said the other day. We're not taking care of ports. We're not taking care of public transportation, our nuclear facilities, our chemical facilities. The president is letting us down when it comes to national security. That's why you need Democrats to stand up and say we can do better. We're making a lot of bad choices, and I think one of the reasons we're making bad choices because right now we have the best government the money can buy in Washington, D.C. Who's been paying attention? How many lobbyists are there for each and every congressman in Washington? 63 lobbyists for each and every congressman. Who's going to be down there and fighting for you every day? Diane Farrell will be there, I'll be there, and John Edwards will be there. Last time around, the party establishment said, Ned, I'm not sure we want to rock the boat. I think on Tuesday night, people said it's high time we rock the boat. That's what we mean to do. Without further ado, Senator John Edwards.